Got a bit of stuff burning off there, I think. Yeah, just a bit of penetrating fluid off there. Oh my God, she works. She works. Okay, I've calmed down a little bit after getting a 5 for the first time. I think we should just take her off for a drive. Except, still need to fit this. Okay, cut there, leave it on a cliffhanger. Note to self, Vic, the next bit goes into the first bit of the next video. Oh yeah, needs the prop. Into character. Sorry about that. So clearly I still need to plumb up the cooling system and fill that up. So to do that, we're going to start by taking off the carburetors. I know, it seems completely counterintuitive to be taking these off, especially seeing as PK Thornton has just spent a load of time setting all these up, balancing up the carbs nicely, for me to then go put that at risk by yanking these guys off. So there is a real good reason. And why is that bit? Oh yeah, you were sitting on that earlier for one of those last shots. Let's get that out of the way. So there are 3 good reasons why these need to come out. Well, actually, you can kind of get around most of it, but as soon as I've got to do all 3, it just kind of makes sense. So for the coolant, there's actually a pipe. Hold on, let me get it. So this pipe needs to run underneath this intake and be secured up against the engine to take coolant from the front to the back for something. I can't remember what. I should have put this on whilst the engine was out, but I was too excited. I completely forgot. You'll know for when you come to do this. Now you get to watch me bugger it up. So there's that one. I could probably do that without taking these off. The other one is I need to connect up the steering, which again, I can connect the steering shaft up with the carbs in. It's just a bit more of a faff. But the main reason is these new carbs, the choke, the output of that choke is different. And that clashes with the original throttle linkage. So actually, as is, I cannot connect up the throttle linkage, which is why you saw in the first video, I was just controlling it from here rather than starting the engine from in the driver's seat. So again, I probably could, with a load of jiggery pokery and cut knuckles and things like that, actually do all 3 jobs with the carbs in place. However, as they're all in the same area, it just makes sense to do it properly. So yeah, join me when these carbs are off. So our problem is the throttle linkage wants to sit right here. And on this one, that's exactly where this fuel rail comes out. But on the original Mark II, this fuel rail comes out at 90 degrees. So all we need to do is swap this component for this component. And with that job jobbed, it's on to the other 2. From the steering, we move on to the cooling. Well, in this case, heating. So this pipe and the 2 that are already installed take water from the engine to the heater box, which then blows it into the car and then back round to recirculate around the engine. So we've got nice shiny new pipes We've got new hoses, including these little ones that go on the end. However, in the kit they supplied 3 straight ones, and I think I actually need some bendy ones. So here and there I might actually use some of the old hoses. They're not in too bad a shape, maybe a little bit of a scrub up. This next montage is just lots of fiddly little jobs where you can't get the camera in, so enjoy! We're on to the last job on our list, which is the radiator. And the original one, weighs an absolute ton, and I'm going to put that down, was just full of brown stuff. So I decided to treat myself and got a shiny new aluminium radiator, which is a lot less heavy actually. It's quite a difference. Right, so we've got to get this one in the car. Before we do that though, the tabs that the guys welded on, they're actually a little bit too long. I spoke to them and they said, funny that, because on our dimensions we actually asked the guys to remake it. It didn't pass quality inspection because these tabs were too short. Oh well, they don't fit our car, so we're going to cut those down and I'm going to send him back the measurements so that he can refine them for the next ones that he makes. So let's trim these down. Oh crap. Now, although our new shiny radiator fits in here absolutely lovely, and it may look like that this is in the wrong location, it's not. I've taken a measurement off the original radiator that I had, and this is pretty much identical. The bit that's changed is I've now got a straight port head, which comes with a different intake, which comes with different carbs, which comes with a different outlet for the coolant. So on the original one that I had in here, the coolant came out over here. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I might ask the internet or phone a friend. Well, that didn't take very long, and I've got a few helpful answers. So this thermostat housing, there's a couple of different types. There's one that comes on the 240 and the 340 Mark IIs, which comes out at 90 degrees. Now that might come in useful if we get stuck. However, we've got something to try first. So this bit here is literally just an extension. So if I take this one out, put this one on the back face, hopefully that should give us enough room. So let's give that a go. Well, that's that plan out the window, because it's not just an extension piece. There's actually a little bit to make the thermostat actually work, so we can't just get rid of that one. So on to plan B. I'll get one of a thermostat housing from a 240 or 340 and come back and see if that works. Right, I'm still alive after being in bed with COVID for about 5 or 6 days. Our new part has arrived. I also ordered up the hose that comes as standard on the 340 and 240. So let's have a look and see how this one fits. What? I want to go drive it. Oh, fine. Do it properly. Well, after that short hiatus, the radiator is modified, back, fitting in, absolutely lovely. We've got the bonnet on and we are pretty much ready to take her out of the garage and try our first drive. Now, I was super impressed at the legends at Cirque Motorsport. Not only is it a beautiful radiator, but they know nothing about this channel. Phoned them up and said, hey, the radiator fitted the old car. However, for the modifications in the later cars, it needs a slight change to it. So, any chance you could do it? And they went, yeah, no worries, Vic, send it back, we'll fix it completely free of charge. Oh, magic. So, absolute shout out to those guys for being legends. I'll put a link in the description below. As I said, they know nothing about this channel. So, if you're watching this, hi guys, really appreciate it. Cool, let's get the car out. Sit rep. So it's been about a month now of only being able to work on the car a little bit during sociable hours because it's far too loud when I start it up. Basically chasing coolant leaks. So I bought and installed all these very expensive, very nice shiny stainless steel clamps. However, they work perfectly if everything is circular. And I don't think much is circular because most of them leaked. So I've had to go and replace most of them for all these worm drive type clips, Jubilee type clips. Anyway, that's now all done. After that, triumphantly rolled it out, managed to get the car up and running, and then it spat coolant everywhere out the release valve. So I think there is an airlock in the system. So that's why we've got the bottle on the top. Hopefully now we'll be able to get that airlock all out and then be able to run the car. Great. Seems to be one problem after another. So I don't think it's firing on all cylinders anymore. Not sure why, probably something to do with the ignition. I don't know whether I should just send this back to the guys, just throw the towel in, ship the car up to PK and just say, give me a car that works. Because it's been so long, work is crazy at the minute, I can't get the time on the car. I don't know, I just want a working car. Okay, editor's note here. As I was putting together the video, I realised that, well, as you saw in the last clip, clearly I wasn't in a good space. I was pretty annoyed, pretty upset with everything that was going on. But I didn't explain myself very well. So for the avoidance of doubt, none of the stuff that's going on in this video is down to PK Thornton, the guys that built the engine. So they got it all running absolutely lovely. They tested everything. They sent me videos, so we know everything works. All the stuff that's going on at the minute is down to effectively my installation of the engine into the car. And as you'll see in a bit, also down to my old ignition system, which they reused and was working. But hey, these are just things that are sent to try us. So I'll let you get back to the video and see what happens next. Okay, I'm not going to give up just yet. I'm going to keep going. Spirit of the channel, we get things done. So I thought it wasn't running on all cylinders before anyway. So before the last run, so I'd already taken the plugs out. I'd soaked them in a bit of petrol to then clean them up. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that with spark plugs, so that may be contributing to the issue. Anyway, I've spent some money to check the whole ignition system out. So I've got these little fellas. We'll see what they do in a sec. I've also got a timing gun, which, to be honest, I've been meaning to get one of these for ages anyway. So we can check that as well. If everything seems fine all the way up to the spark plug, then I might just get a new set of spark plugs and see if that solves our issue. So fingers crossed we can figure all that out, then run her up and she'll actually run properly as opposed to burping and farting all over the place. Then we can burp the coolant and get that all running. Hopefully it won't blow coolant everywhere, and then we can go for a drive. So, oh my God, let's just get into it. So these little things are pretty clever. You simply put them between the spark plug and the spark lead, and then as soon as the spark actually goes down, or it goes to fire the coil, this thing will light up in the middle, so you can see if any are running properly. So I've got 6 of them, 1 on each spark plug. So, oh, yeah, that's on there. Put that one on the top. I've set the camera to super fast shutter rate, so I'll be able to slow the video down. I'll put the firing order up on screen now, and we should see these fire in that order. And then if it skips one, we know that's a dodgy lead or something's going on. So let's give it a go. What? Are they all firing at this? How does that even happen? So the only thing I can think of to make all of them spark at once is something to do with the cap or the, it shouldn't be the arm. I don't know. Looking inside, he's pretty grubby. There's some dust everywhere. I'll clean that out and see what we get. This is weird. Same. It'd be a spark. No, it can be a spark plug failing and then it all jumping. I don't know. Maybe the leads are all. Maybe it's jumping across the leads. I don't know. Maybe I'll just try disconnecting one at a time. Maybe. That really has got me stumped. Maybe coupling between the leads. It's worth a go. I'll spread them all out. Didn't look right, did it? So, to understand just how weird this problem is, I'll run you through the setup on the car. So, there is a distributor that spins with the engine. That turns a little arm which points at points around the distributor cap. There is a coil which sends spark energy down into that arm. When that arm turns around and meets one of the points in the cap, then it releases that energy down through the spark lead all the way to the spark plug, and then boom, you've got an explosion in the chamber, off you go, zoom down the road. Now what's really weird is that arm physically can only point at one lead at one time. So how that spark is getting from the end of the arm to all the different spark plugs, well, I don't know. So looking back at that footage, I think that was a little bit better with the cables separated. So I think there might be crosstalk across these HT high tension cables. So I'm going to try, I think, putting my hands on them and seeing if I get a shock. I can't really think of any other way to test it, so let's see how that goes. Nope. Yeah, that's still... What on earth is going on? I don't get it. Well, this really is a weird one. And I think to get to root cause, we're going to need to invoke the scientific method. So, two hypotheses. The first hypothesis that I've got is inside our distributor cap, there's actually micro black holes forming, which is distorting the space-time continuum, which is then causing all this quantum weirdness that we're seeing at the spark plug level. Now, I've emailed CERN and LIGO. I'm waiting to hear back to see what they think. In the meantime, I need to go to my second hypothesis, which any good scientist would tell you is your instrumentation actually interfering with the result you're getting? So, in other words, are these things actually giving us false readings? Now, there is a way to check. So if I remove all of these from the system, we can then hook up a timing light to cylinder 1, and then when we actually fire our timing gun at the crank, we'll see either we get bang on the timing marks, or it'll jump around all over the place. Either way, that will tell us whether it's just some weirdness with the measurement, or basically space-time's broken down on us and physics has just stopped working in this general area. So let's try that. That's it. Physics is broken. Oh. Well, I look back at the footage and it was a little bit better when I separated out those leads. Now, I spent ages making those HT leads. Maybe they are the cause of the problem, so I've got some new ones. Let's just try that, see how that goes. Whoa! I think we are now good to go, because as you've seen, we've got sparks in the right order. I've static timed it, and I found out, because I pulled the distributor out, there was actually a little notch in that distributor. So a bit had just worn away, which is why, even though I've had the engine timed up and had it tuned, timed up myself a few times, it always sort of then fell a bit too far advanced and started knocking. So I found out it was because there was that little notch that had worn away. So even though you tighten up, the distributor would then slip. So I've turned it round a little bit further so it doesn't catch on that notch anymore. So that should all be good to go. The coolant system has been bled, I think. So last thing now is to roll it out of the garage. Yes, yes, after I think 14 months she's finally out of the garage and driving. Oh. I think I might even try her on the public roads rather than down my drive, so let's go for it. Wheel spin up the drive. Oh my god, first time on the road. Oh yes, this feels so good, so good. Hopefully the indicators still work. Should have checked that. Yes, they do. Brakes, I think, need a little bit of bleeding again, but oh my god. Yes. So the engine's just been rebuilt. I gotta be quite kind to her at the minute to let the piston rings bed in, but she feels like she's got a bit of go to her. Really looking forward to getting her running properly. Oh, I cannot describe how happy I am right now. Oh, it's been so long. So since getting the engine in, I think it's been 4 months to get into this point with issue after issue. But hey, we're here now, we're out on the open road. There's a couple of little niggles to sort out still, but so good. We're going to leave it there in this episode. Thank you ever so much for following along. Thanks for your patience while I got to this point and got this video up, and we'll see you next time on Vic's Projects. Yes. No, don't know. Bye.